that was weak as shit. That was weak as shit. Some of y'all like, you know what I was, but not anymore. Are y'all ready for a show? All right. All fucking right. Let's do it. We're having a great time tonight. You got Eminem, you got fucking, you know, the Suge Knights, the bitch from Beverly Hills Cop 2. Looking like a Japanese anime character. All you need is a samurai sword and a fucking laser gun. Perfect. She'll be playing the live version of Mary J. Blige. Next to her, one of the singers from Zane. Hey, Mr. DJ, yes, my day. I see them tight curls he had. This just is tight. You probably like, when I ask them to give me tight curls, hurts my brain. The thoughts hurt, Okay. All right, so first comedian coming to the stage. This guy right here, super nice guy. Super nice at the beginning. I mean, we only met through text form and online through social media, but he was so kind, so nice. I said, this is the kind of guy you gotta have on your show. This guy, you know, he used to do like stunt work, motorcycles and stuff back in the day. He was in one of the original videos that premiered on MTV. You've seen him on MTV, you've seen him on VH1, you've seen him on a bunch of stuff. Please give him Comedy Styles of my new friend, Mr. Floyd, Haas.
Hey, keep it going for Victor, all right? Like he said, you know, we didn't know each other. A lot of times you do shows like this, and they say, I'm going to do, you know, like 15 minutes up front, and it's like a nightmare. That guy is fucking funny. Give it up for him one more time, okay? So how's everybody doing tonight? All right, look, that was really good. But the way that I usually do this is I come up and I ask how everybody's doing, and I need everybody in the room to say great, okay?
Okay.
All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a guy that looks a little bit like Steven Seagal. Mostly in this area. But if you see Seagal lately, also in this area. Please welcome the comic stylings of Floyd Haas. How's everybody doing tonight? Glad to hear it. What a nice place. Recently I was in not a nice place. I was in Apache Junction. Oh, no. Don't worry, I looked this up. Coolidge can make fun of Apache Junction. I saw that. Now look, here's how I knew it was not a good place. I had to get gas when I was there, and the gas station had payphones there. And somebody was using one of them. And right across the street, there was a building that had a sign that was like the size of a garage door. It was painted like a stop sign, red with white writing, and it said, no drug use, no alcohol use, and no prostitution. And about 15 people standing in front of the sign who obviously couldn't read. I gotta be careful, right? I'm there by myself, it's dark outside. Obviously, I'm a prime target for sex traffickers. And there was a woman there, and we have to be careful with our labels nowadays, right? So there was a woman who obtained drugs by doing favors. And she was riding a BMX freestyle bicycle. And here's something that you should know about me. When I see a crack whore riding a BMX freestyle bicycle, it's very difficult for me not to ask, what kind of tricks do you do? I know a lot of us are on Facebook, like Victor mentioned, we talk back and forth on Messenger. I know some people don't like Messenger, but we use it a lot in comedy. What I like is that you can use it to end conversation, right? So, like if it was your birthday, I could say, happy birthday. You write me back and say, thank you. I write you back and say, you're welcome. And then you do this. We all know what this means, right? I think we're done here. Go on with the rest of your life. Wouldn't it be great if we could do that in real life, right? Like people come up, like somebody contacts you about fixing your windshield on a text, you just go like this. Somebody tells you your car warranty's expiring. Go like this. Somebody you haven't seen for a while comes up to you and go, hey, how's it going? Good. Going good. I haven't seen you forever because I've been really sick. It's the first time I've been out in a long time. I think we're done here. I have done a little bit of acting and some stuff like that. I've done some commercial. Oh, I should bring this up. Right. So if you're in the front row, you can see it. A lot of people have trouble asking me about it. I have a real prominent scar right here on my neck. I actually got cut in the throat with a sword. I was doing a pirate movie with Alec Baldwin. And so recently I was doing a commercial at Bank One Ballpark, okay? And I can't tell you who it was for, but because it upsets the people at Geico. But anyway, so it's a baseball scene, and we're just in the background. The scene's a guy walks down the stairs. He's got a tray full of chips with the gooey cheese. His friend takes one, eats it, dips it in the cheese and eats it, delivers the funny line. And then they go back and do that over and over again. But between takes, the producer's assistant grabs a brand new chip, just like the old one, positions it just right on the tray, and it's frustrating, and then they go back and do it again. In between takes, my friend and I had chips with gooey cheese, so we're doing this back and forth. The producer, who knows me, yells at me in front of all of these people. And he goes, hey, that's not funny. You don't understand the situation. The girl that did this before, I fired, and she's her understudy, and she's really nervous. I said, understudy? And he said, yes. I said, you mean she's not your assistant? Then he gets all serious, like one of those guys on those missing person shows, and he says, her name was Catherine with a K. Catherine with a K went straight home, showered, put on fresh clothes, and walked right out the door without saying a word to a single member of her family. And no one had heard from her since. Stranger than this, she took absolutely nothing from the home, except for her kids' BMX freestyle bicycle. I probably shouldn't be talking like this. I'm a grandpa. In fact, I have a new grandson. Oh, thanks. I see I threw something to right because I said new. I mean, of course he's new. I mean, sure, we looked at used, but we were able to get a brand new grandson that we really wanted thanks to the government program Cash for Crawlers. My daughter Amy and I will take the baby out with us grocery shopping, and it never fails. Somebody will walk up to us and they'll go, oh my gosh, what a cute little baby boy. And look, he looks just like his daddy. And they point to me. I know, it totally creeps us out too. Not just because they're implying that my daughter and I are a couple, but because we both feel we could do better. It's not my only grandchild. My son has a little girl that he shares joint custody with his ex. Every once in a while I get to be the one to go pick her up for the visitation. Recently I picked her up and she was standing on the sidewalk in front of the house with her mom and her cousin, a little boy. And as soon as she gets in the car, her cousin said, or my granddaughter says, Papa, will you take me to McDonald's? I said, sure, honey. Right away, her little cousin pipes up and goes, you're going to McDonald's? That's bad, and that makes you bad. I just turned to her and shook my head no. She turns to her cousin and says, my papa says that you need to shut the fuck up. And I wasn't sure if that's what she said, but as we're driving away, she's going like this. Her mom calls me and she's all angry and everything. I'm like, calm down. She's just being 3. The newest addition to our family is my grandnephew, but we don't like to call him that because it makes him sound more important to us than what he really is. See, at our house, we don't like to use the term adopted because he's more of a rescue. My oldest granddaughter just recently turned 14. Ooh is right? I took her and some of her friends to the water park for her birthday. One of the moms who tagged along, the chaperone, comes up and stands next to me and she says, looks like you've got your hands full. And I said, what? She said, your granddaughter, how old is she? I said, yeah, she's 14, but I get it because she's 5'6". And sometimes we have 15, 16-year-old boys sniffing around. and we have to shoo them away. And she said, "You're lucky." She said, "My daughter is 15, and sometimes I have to beat off college boys." I said, "I don't think that you have to do that. You could probably just tell them to go away." And she said, "What?" And I said, "Sounds like you have your hands full too." It's weird being a grandpa. You don't feel like a grandpa. I mean, I'm only 64 years old, and I'm in perfect physical shape. Not sure if it's okay to laugh at that, right? See, I don't think that you're judging me fairly. I got something on my other shirt, so I wore this. This is my Halloween costume. I went as bloated Charlie Sheen. That's why I look like 2.5 men. I am trying to lose weight, though. Is anybody else? Really? It seems like there should be more. You folks know I can see you, right? I can't see anybody's faces, but I can see shapes. So. I am trying to do some things for my health, though. I've taken the almond challenge. Anybody familiar with the almond challenge? The almond challenge is where you try to eat 12 almonds a day. But I feel it kind of cancels itself out. When you realize how many candy bars that you have to eat. Get to 12 almonds. That's like 3 or 4 candy bars a day. You're rounding up. I appreciate you folks laughing at this stuff because you never know what people are going to get offended by nowadays, right? Recently, my wife told me that when we first got together, that she was actually propositioned at work. And it wasn't by her boss, it was by mine. And she just never told me. For one, because the boss was supposed to be a really good friend of mine. For 2, I was making a ton of money. And for 3, because she said yes. You can imagine how I felt, right? I thought I got that bonus on my own. Because I said yes too. It's weird getting older. I don't get guilt getting older like Victor mentioned. I used to be, but now I'm getting prescription medicine sent to my house. The other day my wife said, "Floyd, there's a pill over here on the floor." And I said, "Well, what color is it?" She said, "What difference does that make?" I said, "Well, if it's pink, I can tell you what it's for. But if it's blue, I can show you." And again, I used to get cool injuries. I came up short on a 100-foot jump and broke my back. I came over backwards on a wheelie at over 70 miles an hour and broke my neck. Last week, I dislocated my toe with my underwear. My wife has to start taking medication now too. She's had to start taking one for bone density. Well, we both do. Hers are pink and mine are blue. I try to avoid, my wife and I were, when we get together with friends and stuff like that, the conversation recently came up about faking it. Everybody know what I'm talking about faking it? And I said, "Look, we've been together a long time, but I know that my wife has never faked an orgasm because she would never give me the satisfaction." She said, "Oh, you're right, I wouldn't, but I could." I said, "No, you couldn't." She said, "Yes, I could. Watch." Oh my God, she's been faking all of them. I try to avoid watching commercials. I got no commercials on my YouTube. But recently I was walking past the TV and one caught me. It was the song "Can't Help Falling in Love with You" by Elvis was the song on there. It's a wise men say only fools rush in, but can't help falling in love with you. That one? You go to. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, but that song's really special. That song was played at my parents' wedding, and it was played at my wife's wedding, and it was my wife's parents' wedding, and it was played at our wedding. And anytime I ever hear that song, it makes me want to get all romantic with my wife. in the butt. But Tracy and I have been married for 41 years now. And things are different, especially in the intimacy area. The other night, we were laying in bed next to each other, and I asked her, "So you want to fool around?" She texted me back and said, "Sure." Who is this? How many people are married here? How many people? Oh, okay, well, you folks get it, right? Like, when you're married, there's some give and take, right? I have to do some things that she doesn't want to do. She might have to do some things that taste bad, but we do these things for each other, right? Like that is, for example, I hate reality television. She likes reality television. So sometimes, just because I want to be in the room with her, I have to see things that I don't really care about. For example, I know that Matt and Amy, the people from Little People Big World, got a divorce, and it was amicable. And they split everything 25-25. So you have to understand, I grew up in the golden age of television. I grew up with shows like The Brady Bunch, right? But even with those shows, the woman who played Marsha Brady, Marie McCormick, she wrote a tell-all book and said things weren't so Brady-like for her after the show. In fact, she was actually trading sex for drugs in the early 80s. I know, that upset me too. I had drugs in the early 80s. If I had to go into if I died and go to the bad place, I would have to watch reality TV. Actually, wait, if I died and went to the bad place, I would have to go to Walmart and watch reality TV in the electronics section. I hate that place. I hate that place. I hate that place. So it's at Walmart, and they start with me right away, right? First thing that happens is, whoosh, I almost get hit by a shopping cart that is doing like 100 miles an hour. Inside the shopping cart are two little boys with no shirt, no shoes, just shorts, being pushed by a guy my size, my age, also no shoes, no shirt, just shorts, 100 miles an hour. It spins me in this direction. I notice in my line of sight, a woman has a tattoo on the back of her neck, and the tattoo reads, "Not crazy." We all know what this means, right? This woman is crazy. And look, I was kind of jealous about that, because back when I was dating, women didn't come with warning labels like that. That was information that unfolded. So now I start to go around another turn, and I have to stop because there's one of those little electric scooters in the way, and the scooter is barely moving. The woman driving it is like 120 years old. And again, it's barely moving because, its battery is dying too. And so as soon as I stop, wham, I get hit right in the lower back with another shopping cart. I turn around and look, the shopping cart is being pushed by two little boys with no shirt, no shoes, just shorts, inside the cart. A guy my size, my age, no shirt, no shoes, just shorts, wham, right in the lower back. I mean, get it together, folks, right? Learn how to dress at Walmart. Plus, it hit me right in the right spot. It almost pulled my pajama bottoms all the way off my So now I go over to the auto parts section, and I ask the guy there, "Can you tell me where the fix-a-flat is?" And he says, "Well, what kind of car y'all got?" And I said, "What?" And he says, "What kind of car y'all got?" Well, look, I was in the motorcycle industry for over 20 years. If this guy knows something about tires that I don't know, I'm going to kill myself. I'm not trying to disparage this guy. I just feel the only reason why he's working at Walmart is because he doesn't have the hand-eye coordination to spin a sign in front of another business. I'm not saying that nobody at Walmart is intelligent. I'm just saying if you are intelligent and you do work at Walmart, we've never met. So now I have to know what difference does it make what kind of car I have. And he says, "Well, some cars have tar sensors, and they think the fix-a-flat might hurt the tar sensors." She said, my car doesn't have tire sensors, so that doesn't even apply to me. He said, well, actually, Fix-A-Flat says it won't hurt the tire sensor, so you'd be fine. So why are we having this conversation? So I said, okay, my car doesn't have tire sensors. Fix-A-Flat won't hurt the tire sensors. Can you please tell me where the Fix-A-Flat is? And he says, we're out of it. So I'm done with this guy. I grab a couple more things. I go to the checkout stand. First thing the cashier grabs is I bought a bottle of Dawn dishwashing soap. And she holds it up and she says, oh, this stuff is so good. A couple of drops in a greasy pan, and the next morning, it's clean. I said, yeah, it also works well on oily birds. You folks know what I'm talking about, right? Oily birds, Exxon Valdez, Gulf oil spill, not the woman doing the commercial. She looks at me like, nothing. So she starts grabbing some other things, and I bought a box of almond candy bars. For my health, right? It's got this display thing. I thought, oh great, I could put them in the pantry that way, right? And so the first thing she does is dump them upside down and start to throw the box away. And I said, hey, I would like to keep the cardboard thing. And she looks at me and says, you want to keep the cardboard thing? And she looks at the box when he says, and I said, yes. She looks at the box when he says, he'd like to keep the cardboard thing. And he looks over at me and says, y'all want to keep the cardboard thing? What's going on in this place? And where are you people from? This is Phoenix, Arizona. We don't talk like that there. Does this Walmart have some kind of an Appalachian exchange program that I'm not familiar with? Now she says something else, and I miss what it is, but it ends in hun. I thought, oh great, now I'm being sexually harassed. What she was asking was going to be cash or credit. And I look at the credit card machine, and it says the chip reader is working, which I can only think means this chip reader has problems, and I don't want to spend the rest of my life here. So I pay cash. The bill is $80.60. I give her 100 and a 1. Do we all know what I'm trying to do here? She did not. Neither did the other 5 people who came over to try to figure this out, including one of the managers who came from the back room. Again, I don't want to make fun of somebody's physical appearance. You look at me, you might spot some physical imperfections on me too. One of those is, I have a receding hairline. Mine is not nearly as bad as hers. And I wouldn't have even noticed it, except she walks up like this. Oh, no, you stayed with me this long. I'm not making fun of somebody that has a hunchback. She didn't have a hump in the back. What she did have on her back was a cape for some reason. It must have been playing some kind of Disney Princess Comic-Con thing in the break room. But the rest of us weren't aware. By the way, guess who's not playing Belle? So she drags her leg around to the back of the register, and I get really frustrated. I say, look, if you just take the money that I gave you and put it into the register, the machine will give you the answer. Just then the original cashier looks up from behind the register and she says, oh, I get it, oily birds. Now the manager is opening up a roll of pennies for what? I don't know. This has nothing to do with our transaction. She drops a few on the floor, and when she reaches over to pick them up, I notice that there's a can of Fix-A-Flat in Quasimodo's back pocket. And I ask her, can I buy that? And she looks over at me and says, what color car y'all got? I got to ride in one of those autonomous cars. You folks know what I'm talking about, the driverless car. Yeah, and things were going great, right? Until we got into traffic. And we get into traffic, and it bumps the car in front of us. What do we do now, right? I'm not driving. Nobody's doing my driver's license. And it wasn't really hard. It was just hard enough for me to spill my drink in my lap and all over the back of my wife's head. But the guy gets out of the car, and he is big mad. And I don't mean big mad like some of the younger kids say today. He is big, and he is mad. But I think I can take him. And as he's walking towards the car, and by the way, as I'm walking towards the car we're in takes off. Not like it didn't acknowledge the accident. We are fleeing the scene of the crime. So obviously he calls 911, right? The police show up behind us. They're like, pull over right now. Nothing I can do. I can't touch the steering wheel. There's nothing. I don't know what to do. So after a while, they get tired of it. And they try to do like they do on the police chases on TV, the pit maneuver thing. You can't hit this car. This car has automatic accident avoidance on it. This car has satellites up in space. It's got radars all the way around it. The police come over on this side. The car just goes whoop over here. They come up over here. The car just goes whoop over here. Finally, the police figure out how to box us all in. They jump out. They've got their guns drawn. They've got tear gas out. The police dog's on the trunk and it's barking and spitting all over the back windshield like Cujo or something. Turns out this car had a suspended license. It had 2 previous hit and runs and a DUI. I guess that would be an AI DUI, right? Really? I thought that would get way more laughs than that. I see the problem I forgot. I'm sorry, there's some younger people here too. You see, Cujo was a movie in the 1980s. About a dog that got rabies and it terrorized an entire town, made people afraid of St. Bernards, just like Jaws made people afraid of sharks. Jaws was a movie in the 1970s that made people afraid of sharks. Hey folks, you've been great. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Give it up for Floyd Haas one more time. Floyd. He's just like, what the fuck? Oh, thank you for that porn music. Appreciate it. Is that Cinemax, motherfucker? What is that?